What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about the second book in the Throne of Glass series, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I'm going to go ahead and say it now, there are going to be tons of spoilers for this book in this video, because one of the reasons way back when I read these initially, like why I didn't do the videos like the way I wanted to and like do the reviews for them, is because with Crown of Midnight, it's very hard to talk about it without talking about the end of this book. So if you haven't read this series, spoilers ahead. I have read it. I am on my reread. If you have read this series, of course, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But, so, Throne of Glass, it's very self-contained. Like, we're being introduced to this world, competition, blah, 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 things are happening, it's nice and cute, little bow at the end of it. You get into Crown of Midnight, it's only been about 2 months. Celaena is settling into her new job as the King's Champion. She is not actually murdering anybody, though. She's just faking their deaths, because she doesn't actually want to be working for the King. We see that her relationship with Chaol is kind of going places. Dorian is becoming increasingly frustrated with the court and what is going on here and his role in it, and largely like secrets are just starting to pop up everywhere. So one of the things that I really enjoy about the series is that you are introduced to things slowly, but once things start happening, things start moving very quickly. And reading Crown of Midnight again after reading everything was very beneficial, because this is a very pivotal book. Like, there are a lot of things happening in this book that have huge implications down the road. So halfway through Crown of Midnight is when everything changes. That is when Nehemia dies. That is when Celaena snaps and loses it, and she loses her trust for Chaol. She loses her trust in the people around her. Everything is being taken from her, and like the rug has just been ripped out from underneath her. And as we'll learn later, like this was done for a purpose, but even within Crown of Midnight, like you can kind of get the feeling that like things are happening for a reason. We are getting these mysterious little things where it's like he and her, the prince isn't ready, it has to be her, blah, blah, blah. Elena and Gavin have these huge plans for their descendants. Like, things are constantly happening. Nameless is my price. We get that amazing line in this book. And seeing that Celaena is very comfortable in the life that she has right now. She's gotten very comfortable in like where she is and living in the palace, being friends with Dorian. Like, her relationship really takes off with Chaol. But in order for what she's destined for to come about, Nehemia has to die, and this has to snap Celaena into wanting to figure out what's going on. It has to snap her into the mindset of, we have to find the Word Kings, we have to defeat the King, because she was getting too comfortable. When I read this book initially, and like I still am, I was a huge like Chaol and Celaena shipper. I loved that ship, and I think that was part of the reason why I started to get a little bit fatigued and struggled with Heir of Fire, because Chaol was and is one of my favorite characters, and I was struggling with where their relationship had ended up. Knowing where things end up way down the line, and then reading this book again, you really see the importance of this relationship, because Celaena does feel a lot for Chaol. She is truly in love with him. Like, she can see a life with him. She can see settling down and being happy with him. But here's the thing, and here's the thing that she was forgetting. He is loyal to the man who murdered her entire family. At the end of this book, we do get the huge revelation that Celaena Sardathian is not a real person, because she's actually Aelin Ashriver Galathinius, the lost heir of Terrasen. This is somebody who is working for the king that murdered her parents. This is somebody who is supposed to be her enemy, and it is finally, snapped into Celaena that like she can't allow herself to feel comfortable in this life, because there is a lot of work left for her to do. It is really devastating and really tragic, because like if she wasn't destined for this amazing destiny that we're going to see play out later on, she could have had a happy life. Like, this could have been where her life went, and she would have been perfectly fine with that. Obviously, now she is going to go and meet her mate, and like things are going to, turn out the way that they're going to turn out, but she could have had a life like this. But unfortunately, that's just wasn't in the cards for her. I also really like in this book, we learn a lot more about Dorian, because Dorian is coming into his magic, and he is so frustrated with, the things that are happening and what the king is doing, and there's so much going on with him, and there's so much like angst happening with Dorian right now. Like, it obviously was going to come to a tipping point with him. Like, we'll see that later on, but like these are kind of the first steps of like the anger and the frustration and this like growing rage within Dorian. And it's really interesting to me because Chaol is somebody who like doesn't respond to change super well. Like, he thinks he knows how the world works. So learning that his best friend has magic and then learning that the woman he loves is actually like the biggest enemy of his state, like, it's a lot for him. And I really love like these three main characters, like, we're going to see them work through all of this shit and we are going to see them come out the other side of it. But Crown of Midnight is where everything is just like pushed off a ledge and we have to see where things are going to land. I really enjoy Crown of Midnight. I really, really like this book just because like it's really Sarah J Maas showing you like you thought you knew where we were going in the first book, but unfortunately that's just not in the cards. And I really like that. I remember at first being kind of frustrated because like things easily could have gone in a different direction. We could have followed that like, oh, the competition, oh, learning secrets about the castle, whatever, like typical stuff. But the gods have something else planned for Aelin, and like that's how the books are responding. Like the books are like trying to go this one way, Aelin is trying to do these things, but then things keep getting like thrown in her path and she keeps getting pushed back in another direction. And I really like the feel of that. It just feels really interesting. Like it feels like Sarah J Maas is like one of those gods that is just like pushing these pieces around a game board, and I really, really love that. So if you are reading along with me, I would love to know your thoughts on the Crown of Midnight down below. And I'm also excited to get to Heir of Fire because that is when I first read the series, I was getting really fatigued. I loved Manon's chapters and that's like what really kept me going. But as somebody who really loved Chaol, I was like really falling off the wagon a little bit with it. So I'm excited to finally read that again because I know how pivotal Heir of Fire is, and I know for a lot of people like that's one of their favorites out of the series. So I'm really excited to get back into it again. And like, y'all, this series like rips me to pieces. If you haven't seen, I cried when I was talking about Empire of Storms, and like, man, just seeing the threads that are placed so early in the game in this book and knowing where things are going later, it's a lot. Sarah J Maas, oh my god, she just really loves to twist that knife. So I'm giving Crown of Midnight an A+, and really excited to get to Heir of Fire. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!